Hello traders and welcome to Rocket Stock Picks. On this channel, we'll be focusing on all things economics with, as the name suggests, a strong focus on stocks. Hopefully, stocks that will make your gains skyrocket. I'm a Canadian university student currently working towards a Bachelor of Commerce. I'm fairly new to the market, however I've seen some very solid gains so far. So, if you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I upload a video, and let's start making some gains. Now, keep in mind, I am not a financial advisor, and this video is not meant to be taken as financial advice. I also have a new Patreon which allows you access to all of my stock buys and sells the moment I make a trade. I can't make a video on all of my stock picks, but you can stay updated with all my picks on Patreon. As of 10 days ago, I bought Bio-Nanogenomics warrants. Now, I didn't have time to make a video on this stock, but I will be posting about stocks like this in the future on my Patreon. The link to my Patreon will be in the description down below. Now, with that being said, let's get into the video. Now, the stock we're going to be talking about today is a crypto stock. More specifically, it is a Bitcoin mining company. If you're an investor and you haven't heard of the run Bitcoin has been going on lately, I'd say you must be living under a rock. Recently, we have seen so many good catalysts rocket the Bitcoin price to an all-time high. Elon Musk, who recently became the world's richest man, said he wouldn't be opposed to being paid in Bitcoin. Cathie Wood, the founder and CEO of ARK Invest, says the involvement of institutional investors could raise the Bitcoin price to $500,000. JP Morgan also recently stated they have a long-term price target of $146,000 US for Bitcoin. So there's a little bit about the crypto industry and why I think it's a good time to get in now. Now I'll show you my personal favorite crypto mining company on the stock market today. Hut 8 is a Bitcoin mining company headquartered out of Alberta, Canada. Why am I picking Hut 8? There's a few reasons. The first and one of the most important is I feel as though Hut 8 is very undervalued at the moment compared to other crypto stocks. Hut 8 is currently trading at $6.16 Canadian. Now, when we compare this to a crypto stock such as Riot, which has made huge gains recently, you will quickly see why I think Hut 8 is undervalued. Now, let's compare this to a crypto stock such as Riot. Riot's share price is obviously much more expensive than Hut's right now. Throughout this video, I will use Riot as an example to show you why I think Hut is so undervalued. I'm going to be connecting some dots here as I'm trying to be analytical in my research and predict what I believe is going to happen next. I think this is a great time to buy into Hut 8, and after some research I've done, you'll see why I say this. If you look at this graph here, you can see Bitcoin miners' revenue in US dollars is beginning to skyrocket. Now, this is mostly due to the large increase we've seen in the price of Bitcoin in the past month. As a result, we have seen Bitcoin mining companies' share price rise as expected. Riot has gone on a run from $8.51 on December 2nd to $25.78, what it's currently at. The huge increase in the price of Bitcoin has made Bitcoin miners like Riot seeing their market caps rise by over 800%, while Hut 8's market cap has only risen by half as much. Riot has about 830 Bitcoins in its treasury at last count, while Hut 8 has 3,007 Bitcoins in its own treasury at last count. Hut 8 also has operations with total power of 1,031 petahashes per second, where Riot has a mining capacity of 842 petahashes per second. So, why hasn't Hut shot up significantly like these other companies? Well, there's something I think a lot of investors aren't realizing when it comes to Hut's financial statements. When I reviewed Hut's Q3 earnings, the numbers weren't great. Hut had quarterly revenue of $5.8 million, a decrease of $3.4 million from Q2, and they also had a mining profit margin of negative 37%. These are scary numbers for investors to see, which could be one reason investors are hesitant to invest in Hut. Personally, I am not too worried about these numbers. Now, I'll try and show you why by connecting some dots within the industry. Now, as I mentioned, Hut's Q3 results were poor, but why is this? This graph is displaying the network difficulty to mine a new block for the blockchain. To put this in simple terms, a higher network difficulty means it requires more energy to mine Bitcoin, which costs more money. With this graph, we see peaks in mid-March and mid-May. These peaks are similar in size, actually decreasing as time went on, nothing a mining company wouldn't expect. However, with the start of Q3, we see an upward trend in the difficulty of mining Bitcoin. This trend started in the beginning of Q3 in July and continued all the way upwards until the last month of Q3, September. Now, since Hut's main source of revenue is mining Bitcoin, the increased network difficulty hit them hard, while larger companies with more diverse ways of earning revenue were able to deal with this increase better. This may be why some investors aren't picking Hut, but I'll tell you why I think this is a great time. When the increased difficulty in mining Bitcoin occurred, Bitcoin's price was around $12,700. By the end of Q3, Bitcoin's price was around $14,200, around a 10.5% gain. That is not a very big increase if we compare these percentage gains to the percentage gains in terms of increased mining difficulty. I calculated this using the start of July's energy output required to mine a new block of 15.785 trillion hashes per second and September's of 19.315 trillion hashes per second. Therefore, we see it required about 22% more energy to mine Bitcoin while its price only rose 10.5%. For a relatively small company like Hut, it is no wonder they are going to struggle in these hard conditions. But don't panic, the future is very, very bright. Comparing these numbers to Bitcoin's price now, we see a giant increase. Bitcoin is now trading at $44,500 as opposed to $14,200, which it was at the end of Q3 in 2020. Now that is a 220% increase. This increase blows the numbers we were previously talking about out of the water. After hearing those kinds of numbers, I hope you didn't forget about the fact that Hut has the biggest inventory of Bitcoin in its treasury in the entire world out of Bitcoin mining companies. Hut has around 3,000 Bitcoin, while the closest competition, which is Riot, is only at around 800. If I were to show you the share prices of these companies, you'd expect Hut to have the share price that Riot does, not the other way around. This 220% gain in the Bitcoin price is huge, and the more Bitcoin a company owns, the more times this benefit will affect them. Since Hut owns the most Bitcoin when compared to other mining companies, they will benefit the most from the gains Bitcoin has made now and in the future, assuming they retain most of their Bitcoin. How much more will Hut benefit than the competition? Well, let's compare Hut to Riot. As we now know, Hut has a little over 3,000 Bitcoin while Riot has around 800. In other words, Hut has nearly 4 times as many Bitcoins saved in its treasury when compared to Riot. And keep in mind, Riot is the second largest Bitcoin holder among Bitcoin mining companies. So there are my thoughts on Hut 8. As for what I'm doing with this stock, I currently have a buy order set and will be looking to make a position Monday. So if I provided you with any useful information or you added a stock to your watch list, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload a video. I also have a new Patreon, link is in the description below. Thank you for your time. Remember, I am not a financial advisor and this video should not be taken as financial advice, and you should always do your due diligence when researching a stock. That's all from me, and I'll see you guys next time.